One Piece chapter 1156 spoilers are out, and dude, Oda is straight cooking. He has been on a generational run these past few chapters. We continue on with Zebek. We also learn a lot more about the previous era of pirating. We also got some questions answered that a lot of people have been asking for many years. But in truth, this chapter just gave us a shitload more of stuff to just theorize on. But before we get into this, please, for me, like and subscribe. And if you want to talk more about this One Piece chapter in depth, please feel free to join my Discord server. Right now, there's about 4 members in there, 3 not including me. So, yeah, without further ado, let's get into this. Chapter title is Idols. In the color spread, we see Luffy, Zoro, Sanji, and Nami in the front with Roger, Rayleigh, and Gaban in the back, while the other Straw Hats are also in the color spread, but they are small, sitting on Luffy and in his pockets. Man, a few days ago, I made a 3-hour color spread tier list, and it's already out of date. Anyway, the Kuja pirates were idols for people all over the world. At the time, Gloriosa was the captain, and Shakuyaku was number 2, but Shakuyaku was the people's favorite for her beauty. The Kuja pirates and the Roger pirates clashed in the sea. All the Roger pirates were captivated by Shakuyaku's beauty, and they couldn't fight 100%. Gloriosa loved Roger. She was lovesick like Hancock, but even Roger was captivated by Shakuyaka's beauty. However, Shakuyaka had her eyes on Rayleigh. What I find really funny about that is that there's a very common One Piece theory. Well, it's really not even a theory anymore, but those who achieve their dreams or don't give up on their dreams age gracefully than those who given up on their dreams or had their dreams just completely crushed. I mean, that's seen with how Gecko Moria looked when he fought Kaido, and how he looks now. And it is also seen with the good and bad future drawings that Oda did for the Straw Hats. But where I'm going with that is Shaki was in love with Rayleigh, obviously, and we know how that turned out. Shaki and Rayleigh ended up getting together. But Gloriosa was in love with Roger, and Roger ended up with Porcus de Rouge, not Gloriosa. And look at how Gloriosa aged. Compare that to how Shaki aged. It's night and day. One had their dreams crushed, one didn't. So just imagine how Boa Hancock's gonna look when she doesn't end up with Luffy, because, let's be real here, she's more than likely not gonna end up with Luffy. So she's gonna probably end up looking worse than Gloriosa, because, to be honest, I would venture to say that, Boa Hancock is way more head over heels than Gloriosa was for Roger. I mean, she literally has his fucking face on the castle. Suddenly, Garp's ship approached them, so the Kuja pirates escaped while the Roger pirates fought the Marines. Roger and Garp had a brutal clash with a huge wave of Supreme King Haki. Roger used his sword, and Garp used his fists. And Loki planned to join the Rocks pirates next time that they returned to Elbaf. What the fuck? Last chapter, we get Zebek and Harold clashing with one of the most crazy Conqueror's Haki displays we've ever seen. And then this chapter, back-to-back chapters, we get insane Haki clashes. Legit Roger and Garp clashing. Throughout the whole series, it's been talked about how they were basically, in a way, rivals, and we're finally getting to see them fight. You know, while that is really cool, it's showing that we're getting close to the end, dude. Like, moments like this that have been, like, talked about forever, and we're finally seeing them, it kind of makes you sad a little bit, but, I mean, at the end of the day, it's fucking sick. And with Loki planning to join Zebek, of course we know that never ended up happening, obviously. But dude, imagine if it did. See, there's 3 things about that. Firstly, the main, like, problem that the Rocks pirates had, despite being very clearly the, like, strongest pirate group ever, there was no loyalty, and none of them really got along at all. And Loki would have been more than likely loyal to a fault to Zebek. But here's the problem with that. Obviously, the Loki that would have joined Zebek would not be in his prime. And we've seen how strong he is. So imagine if Prime Loki would have joined this crew. Straight up would have been unstoppable. But the part that's even crazier about that is, assuming, you know, everyone survived the God Valley incident and, you know, they just continued on or whatever, in some alternate future, I guess, Loki would have been getting stronger and growing up, fighting against way stronger people. Like, imagine, obviously, I'm not downplaying Elbaf, but he would have been clashing with the Roger pirates, Loki would have been. He would have been clashing with Garp. He would have been clashing with all these other massive big names. Of course, growing up and fighting on Elbaf is obviously crazy enough, but fighting against these people, he would have got even stronger. So just imagine how strong current day Loki could have been if he was if that would have happened. Genuinely, I don't see how anyone would have been able to stop him. Of course, though, that's just fun banter. That happening would have completely just changed the story forever. The entire trajectory of One Piece would have not been at all the same. In Hachinosu, we see the Rocks Pirates with new crew members like Big Mom, Kaido, Silver Axe, and John. Rocks told all of them that Elbaf is very important to destroy the Holy Land. Rocks also explained his plan at the end of the chapter. First, he needed 2 legendary devil fruits, and one of them was on Elbaf. He also needed to find the Galilea Giants, or the Galea Giants. Break next week for Jump Magazine Holiday, and Pew's comment, do you think Oda will show us the God Valley incident next chapter? The first thing I want to talk about is how Elbaf is going to be very important for this final war. Of course, we all already knew this, but really think about this for a second. The average pirate or average marine is doing nothing to the average giants. Like, you straight up need to be, like, Vice Admiral level and using hockey and really, like, pretty strong level hockey to be able to defeat just the average baseline giant. So, the average giant, whatever side that they go with, obviously they're going to more than likely side with Luffy, but it's just going to make the average fighter completely useless in this final war. But the craziest part about this chapter is the 2 legendary devil fruits that Rocks needed to defeat the world government, which one is on Elbaf. Now, based upon this picture here that a lot of the leakers are posting, it's pretty likely that the 2 fruits he is referring to are the Hito Hito no Mi Model Nika and the Yami Yami no Mi. But there are 3 things based on that I want to talk about. We'll get the first one out of the way. That's like just, the most whatever. Likely Zebek in some way or another, maybe didn't even tell him, but he likely somehow told Teach about this plan in some way or another, and that's why Blackbeard really freaked out when he seen the darkness fruit. Like, he was straight up like, holy shit, this is a fruit that is key, that is integral to overthrowing the world government. But the 2 things that I find really crazy about that statement is, firstly, Zebek said he needed 2 fruits. That's kind of weird, right? Typically, you can only have 1 devil fruit per person. So that likely implies that Rocks D. Zebek could also have multiple fruits, just like Blackbeard. And he probably, or somehow, told someone else who then taught Blackbeard, or maybe he taught Blackbeard directly, the method to, either steal devil fruits and how to have more devil fruits. Likely it's something to do with their lineage. It's probably... Maybe, like, the stealing devil fruit factor is an actual technique, but being able to have more than 1 devil fruit is probably, like, a lineage factor. Lastly, I know for a fact that a lot of Theory Piece people right now are freaking out, because a lot of people think that in some way or another, Blackbeard and Luffy will team up to kill Emu or to just overthrow the government in some way. And this chapter kind of definitely hints to that, because he needed both of those fruits, or probably needed both of those fruits to overtake the government. Now, I don't think that Luffy will willingly join hands with Blackbeard. I mean, Blackbeard is the reason that Ace got killed, but maybe, like, there's a fight against Emu where, like, there's somehow invaded the Holy Land, and it's like a life or death situation, and Blackbeard's like, yo, bro, let's just fight together, and then maybe betrays him or something. But it also might mean that Luffy is fighting, in some other place at the time, and Blackbeard's fighting some other place, and inadvertently they both working together in a way somehow causes the collapse of the world government. And the last thing that Rock said during the chapter was that he needed to find the Galea Giants. I'm probably butchering that name, but I would say the most probable reason for him needing to find them is they somehow have information on one of the ancient weapons and can maybe even build it or, like, reforge it. But do I think that we are going to get the God Valley incident next chapter? To be honest, not in the way that people are hoping for, I don't think. While this is definitely the best place in the story so far to reveal the God Valley incident, I feel like what's going to happen is, maybe not even next chapter, but in a couple coming chapters, we will get, like, a snippet of the God Valley incident more than we have so far. And likely it's going to, like, end off with Zebek seeing those treasure chests and opening one and seeing whatever fruit that he was looking for. That's what I think is going to happen. I mean, I'm not 100% sure. Hopefully we get the God Valley incident flashback fully. That'd be fucking awesome. The thing is, though, the God Valley incident is not going to be just one chapter long. I mean, think about it. Every major key player of that era was there. You had the Roger Pirates. You had the Rocks Pirates. You had the Holy Knights. You had Garp and his little marine outfit. And then you also probably, maybe, had Emu somehow involved with it. Not even somehow. Emu most definitely was involved in the God Valley incident, with either destroying the island, coming down there directly, or possibly using that possession that they can do, like they did on Gunko, and possessing one of the Holy Knights. There's just no way you can condense such a crazy fight and just incident. It's an incident, not even just a fight, into one chapter. Honestly, I don't even see it being 5 chapters long. I mean, the God Valley incident will and probably should be the longest flashback to date. Like, straight up, with all the stuff we like even just somewhat know about it, it sounds like its own arc, dude. Seriously. The God Valley incident is like its own arc. With that, I really don't got much else to add to this video. I'll make another one on 1156 once the actual scans come out, because, you know, looking at the panels, we can make a lot more, like, better theories and just talk about it a lot more. I mean, just looking at a bunch of paragraphs, kind of hard to talk about it. But with that, this wraps up the video. Please make sure to like and subscribe, and if you want to talk about it a bit more in depth, feel free to join my Discord server. Alright, I'll see you all in the next video. Peace.